Welcome back to Peterson Auto. Today we're going to give you a quick demo on the shrinker stretcher here. Really cool tool. So it's going to take a piece of metal, it's going to shrink it or stretch it. So how's that useful to you? Well, let's just say you're making a cab corner here, okay? It's nice and straight, perfectly straight. Man, I already bent this in the vise. It's not perfect, but you know, pretty sure it'll work. If not, I might have to straighten this out a little bit. Just bend over with a hammer. So how would we make this curve, like for a cab corner or maybe a window channel, you know? A tool called the shrinker stretcher. Simply put your metal in and give it a push. Just keep repeating over and over, and it'll curve. I already see a nice little curve coming into this one. Now it should have been cleaned up, it shouldn't have been rusty, but we're not talking about an ideal world here. You know, I just grabbed a piece of junk metal and decided to use it as a demo. So you want to keep things fairly even, but if you have a more complex curve, you can adjust it and compensate accordingly. So you can see how that's sitting. Alright, so if I wanted, I could give a little more pressure up top here and just kind of bend that roughly into where it needs to be. Take some of the tension out of it. You can see we're getting a nice curve there, okay? Say it's a bump where, I don't know, the edge of a door or something where, or the edge of like a body on a pickup truck where the cab and the bed come together and you have a little bump there you're trying to duplicate. So, you know, we gotta kind of put a little more complex flare in here. So we're gonna go ahead and shrink this down a lot more. That's shrunk down. You see it's a little uneven. Well, that's nothing some filler won't take care of, some grinding. So it does unfortunately push the metal together. It's a decent finish though still. And it is curved, okay? So that's your shrinker. Now we got a stretcher. I have two handles for these, but you shouldn't store them in the jaws closed position, so I leave the handles out. I put them in when I go. So the stretcher does exactly the opposite. It's going to stretch the metal. And yes, that is a brake drum for the stand, if you can see that. I don't think you can. So it's just going to make the metal wider. Really see it coming out at the end there. Try to go up here a little more. Every time you push the handle down, you want to reposition, even if it is just a millimeter one way or another. Oop, might have been much. Yep, a little much there. That's a good example. See how I worked it so hard down in there? You can see all the marks in that area and it's split. So that's not good. Too much. I'll give the other side a quick one. That's probably going to work better for this. There we go. So you can see we created a decent little bump out there. We stretched it here, shrank it here, and stretched it a little too far right here, but stretched it back here. So you got that nice kind of complex shape. That's what you can do with a shrinker stretcher. The rest of the metal stamped to that. You can go ahead and just use like Clecos to hold it in place, a couple tacks at a time, and you can get where you need. But either way, cool little wavy piece of metal now. You use it for cab corners, window channels, pretty much anything that needs a curve. And you know, if this was a cab corner and I did make a nice sharp 90 here, we could easily just release a little bit of the tension, which you can do by hand, or if you have a sandbag and a mallet, release a little tension and you can get that curve there. So shrinker stretcher, quick how-to. See how it works. You do put a lot of force into these, so a good base is ideal. I keep my handles stored down in the drum, and I love this base. I'm going to show you it quick here. So here's our stretcher. Here's our shrinker. Like I said, keep the handle stored out. You can see the jaws. You want to have it stored so the jaws aren't together. That's what the stretcher does, and that's what the shrinker does. So you see how that one's pushing together, and then this one pulls apart. My base is a semi-truck brake drum with a piece of angle iron, no, actually flat stock there, and a pole that I had laying around. It's just all scrap steel. Those brake drums are great for that. They make amazing bases for tool stands and whatnot. And I have a few more in case I want to put a grinder on one or something. I already have the good bench grinder, which is set up the way I like it. But, you know, once in a while you wind up coming up with something. So, you know, like these. These were a purchase. Well, they were actually a gift. They were a Christmas gift. It was one of those things that I never would justify for myself. However, they do come in handy. And they are a very, very awesome tool to have. I think these are... They're actually one of the bigger name brands. I forget the name offhand. They're one of the good ones, the real good one. Maybe I'll send a link to them. Either way, not sponsored. I like them. Just wanted to show you how to use them and a little bit about them. Shrinker stretcher how to. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe to Peterson Auto.